Party. Well, let's talk education this afternoon because the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CETAG, has declared an indefinite nationwide strike effective today, Monday, the 24th day of November, accusing the government of failing to implement a National Labour Commission Arbitral Award issued over 2 years ago. According to a statement signed by CETAG President Maxwell Bunu and National Secretary Fidelis Kamai, the decision approved by the National Executive Committee in consultation with the National Council at an emergency meeting on the 19th of November follows persistent government inaction, leaving the Union Code no option but to withdraw all services across all 46 colleges of education. Here are details from that statement. And as you can see on your screen, it says the National Executive Committee, NEC, in consultation with the National Council of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association, CETAG, at its emergency meeting held on the 19th of November, has resolved to withdraw all services effective Monday, the 24th of November 2025. This decision follows government's failure to implement the National Labour Commission Arbitral Award issued on the 2nd of May 2023. It goes on to say that CETAG remains committed to quality teacher education. However, the government's persistent indifference, disregard for binding agreements, and failure to honor obligations under the NLC Arbitral Award of 2nd May 2023 have left the association with no alternative but to activate this industrial action. The strike has been necessitated by the government's refusal to address the following issues. 1. Non-payment of all year-round work compensation for additional duties performed in 2022 for the remaining 39 colleges of education, with only partial payment made to the Accra College of Education. 2. Outstanding book and research allowance arrears for the 2023-24 academic year. 3. Outstanding book and research allowance for the 2022-2023 academic year. 4. Outstanding book and research top-up arrears for the 2021-22 academic year owed to Akwa College of Education. 5. Downgrading of some experienced teaching staff who hold master's degrees in the colleges of education, which undermines professional dignity and violates agreed conditions of service and the Labour Act 2003, Act 651. CETAG previously cautioned in its 27th October press release that continued government inaction would leave the association with no option but to resort to industrial action. Regrettably, this warning has not been heeded, compelling CETAG to proceed with the strike. So those are excerpts of the statement they released in relation to the declaration of industrial strike, which takes effect today. And joining me on Zoom now is the president of CETAG, Maxwell Bunu. Also on Zoom is the president of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana, Naninja Divine. Also on Zoom again is a labor expert, Austin Game. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Let me start with you, Maxwell. Some argue that your basis for the strike action is premature and unwarranted. Really, how do you respond to such positions?
So much, my brother, and good afternoon. Good afternoon to Divine and our counsel, Mr. Austin Game,
okay,
as well as your viewers. My brother, I don't know what is wrong with us in this country that, as a union leader, you would want to use diplomacy and peaceful engagement to resolve issues so that we don't get to the state that we have gotten to, and yet that rather doesn't work. Governments upon governments only understand strike action. That's the only time that they will pay particular attention to your concerns. However, you recall that 27th of October, we issued a press release in this country asking the government that our members are not happy with the way our outstanding issues have not been implemented as agreed upon, because these issues are part of our arbitral award that we won from the National Labour Commission on 2nd May 2023. This award is binding on every government. Governance is continuum. So if you have a previous government have made some effort You have also taken over, you have migrated us. There are many concerns, have them addressed. We gave the government up to October ending. We never heard anything from anybody. Then that same press release, we issued to National Labour Commission that is also served as a strike notice. The commission actually invited us on 5th of November. They summoned us for hearing, and we were there to explain our issues. That one, our all-year-round compensation for additional duty performed in the year 2022 has still not been paid to the remaining 39 colleges of education. That of Accra College, even, it was just part payment. Two, our 2023-2024 BRA, that is Book and Research Allowance, which is contingent on the migration of the staff onto the university salary structure, has also not been paid. Meanwhile, this Book and Research Allowance, we agreed with GTEC on 30th of April that they were going to add this the data on this to that of 2025 to be paid. But that did not happen. We follow up to the Minister of Finance and only realized from the Minister of Finance that GTEC had not submitted the data as we had agreed. When we started making checks, they later submitted it. Three, our all-year-round compensation for 2022-2023 is also contingent on migration, also has not been paid. And this BRA we are talking about, we had a meeting and made a strong case that this money we are talking about, it followed through the academic year. GTEC said that we did not win an award in 2022. So we said, okay, you take the 2022 component. Just as you have been doing to the traditional universities, you can pay us by pro rata. Pro rata here means that they're looking at the award, you are supposed to pay us retrospectively 1st January 2023. Therefore, anything that is within that year, we qualify for it. So use the pro rata concept and pay. Just like you have recruited a lecturer into the university, maybe that lecturer start lecturing in January, let's say 2025. Meanwhile, the academic year started from 2024, 2025. So what they do is that they calculate from the time the lecturers start to work up to the end of the academic year and pay. So use the same concept and pay us the money. That also became a problem. Then we have our colleagues at Akokeri College of Education, who are supposed to be paid a top-up of their book and research allowance. All other colleges were paid except Akokeri. The last time they said that they didn't submit certain data, but all checks from the principal revealed that they have done everything that they were supposed to do. And yet, that college have been denied their top-up of the 2022. It's still outstanding. Then we also have our colleagues, experienced colleagues for that matter, who have a master's degree, but by GTEC at the time of migration, they said that the minimum qualification was going to be research master, that is MPhil, and therefore those colleagues were downgraded. We went and pleaded with them that these are colleagues who have served the institutions for 20, 25 years. Some are even due for migration, but some are even due for retirement, sorry. Okay. And therefore, the downgrading them wasn't a way to go, because the way the whole process went, we didn't have the opportunity to have what we call a certain period to allow them to actually upgrade themselves. Some concession must be granted. One, they are currently teaching just as any other qualified person in the college. So while they are teaching, why not grant them some allowance, for instance, online teaching support? They are doing research, so grant them book allowance at least, so that those allowances will cushion them. These are workers for Christ's sake. And the regulator said he was not going to grant anything. There are rules, they were not going to grant anything. So that has actually demoralized our colleagues. And in fact, it's unfortunate. So when we met the Labour Commission on the 5th, and Commission was not happy with the government team.
You mean on the 5th of this month? Is it the 5th of this month, you said?
Exactly so, 5th of November.
Okay.
So they invited us, they summoned us, so we were there as law-abiding citizens who were there and listened to the Commission. And the Commission asked us to reiterate the outstanding issues, which we did. Unfortunately, the legal persons that came from which the Salary Commission appear to be new. So they didn't have a full grasp of the issue. So the commission asked us to reiterate the issues to them, which we did. And they gave us 2 weeks that they should go back so that after 2 weeks, they come back so that to tell them how they have resolved the issue. My brother, 2 weeks, that was 19th. We got there on the 19th. The story was the same. All that they could tell us was that the GTEC and Fair Wages, they have done the paperwork, and therefore the ball is the Court of Finance Ministry to release the money for payment. Meanwhile, we have gone to the Finance Ministry and they make all the necessary effort, and yet we didn't get the money. But Fair Wages and Salaries Commission and GTEC are the body mandated by the state, paid to actually intervene in such matters to make sure that they resolve our issues. And if we have to even get there and then we are not making any headway, and you are telling us that you have done the paperwork, then what do we do? Do we sit down and look on?
Maxwell, so do you see it this way, that negotiations are still ongoing, or you see that it has stalled?
My brother, we do not have any negotiation. We have ended negotiation long time ago.
Okay.
At the time that arbitral award was given, that ended any form of negotiation. We are not negotiating with anybody. When GTEC even disagree with some of the ruling of the Labour Commission, they have a window of 14 days to appeal. They never appeal. So that window too has been closed for them. So we are no longer negotiating. All that is needed is that they have to go to the state institution of finance and ensure that the money that the state owe us, those monies are released to us so that our colleagues can go and work. That is all that we are saying.
Okay. Maxwell Bunu, he's the national president of CETAG. Thank you very much. Let me bring in Austin Game, who's a labor expert. Mr. Game, grateful for your time this afternoon. Another day, another strike by a very familiar organization, CETAG. You've been listening in. Do you think they have a case this time?
Well, I hold a different view about the whole thing.
Okay.
I am not against anyone wanting to take a strike action under the circumstance. But is there a way resolving this matter without resorting to a strike action? Yes is the answer. Look, I am getting a little apprehensive about the whole country, the way from academia to some of my colleague professionals and everybody, the way we handle labor-related matters. If you don't handle it with care, you get a result you don't want to have. I'm a little troubled about it. My straightforward answer is that this matter, I have personally, together with my staff, we spend our time, money, energy, met with Mr. Bunu and his people and tried to talk to them. They have a genuine concern. I want to repeat it. They have a genuine concern and has to be addressed. When they talked to me, we invited them, sat with them, showed them the way forward, and prevailed on them. They would have gone on strike long ago. We prevailed on them. That's why they didn't go on strike in the first place. And went to Labour Commission. Labour Commission addressed part of the issue. There is a part still hanging around. My wish is that officers in government offices, government as they call it, is not their, they have an employer. Government is not their employer. They have an employer. That employer we all know is GTEC. And government only comes in with the negotiation part with Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. I think maybe earlier the president takes steps to set up his emolument commission, the better, because what we have now, as he himself knows, will not work. We have all manner of mushroom of allowances. We have all manner of troubles in this country that if we want to live with it, this country will go down the drain. Is that
to suggest that most of the allowances that are being demanded by CETAG really shouldn't be there in the first place? They should be cancelled?
Not only CETAG. The whole system is polluted with mushroom of allowances. In salary administration, we don't do this kind of things.
Mr. Game, but we're dealing with CETAG right now. That's why I want clarity on that.
CETAG has like I said, they have a genuine problem. I sat with them, I reviewed the whole thing, and what it is that Labor Commission has invited them. They solved part of the problem. Part of it, they advised them to go and work collaboratively with CETAG and the other partners to enable them go to the Ministry of Finance and have their matter resolved. As it stands, I've picked information, reliable information, that both the Minister of Education and CETAG itself, they have invited Mr. Bunu and his team, the CETAG people, to appear before them tomorrow 9 a.m. in the morning, and also 2 p.m. with CETAG, to enable them, GTEC, to enable them work out the modalities of getting this matter resolved. So I can appeal to them, I can only appeal to them that under the circumstance, they will have to advise themselves and maybe stay off the strike, because the students are at their mercy, which is not the best. They are their customers. The students are their customers. And so they should not make them victims of circumstances because of somebody's miscalculation. Bringing about, I know they have CETAG as a genuine case, but maybe the way we are all going about it is the problem.
Mr. Austin Gama is a labor expert. Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. Let's now bring in the president of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana, Naninja Divine. Mr. Divine, how is this going to affect the student population? Kindly unmute your microphone so we can hear you. Do I have Divine with me? Kindly unmute your microphone yes, I can hear you now. I was asking, how is this strike action affecting students on campus, on the various campuses across the country, all 46 of them?
All right, thank you so much for the opportunity. I think that it will have been so good that this particular strike is declared even before the resuming date. But to allow students to travel all the way from their homes to the various campuses and only to be informed in the second week that the strike has been declared is so disturbing. And as we speak, nothing like course material is given to any of the students, no course outline, whereby somebody can say or could say that maybe they can learn on their own. So it is very disturbing. It's very, very disturbing, and we are worried. Even as we speak we have the level 400s who are also undertaking their mandatory SDS, what we call micro teaching. And all those people, they are not staying or they are not even using the school facilities. They're rented outside the schools and they are doing these micro teachings. And they are doing so many of the things on their own. And today only to be told that they will not be supervised and others. So it's very disturbing.
We know that most students come from far and near. Some come from the northern region to schools in the Greater Accra region to Kumasi, very far distances. How are those students coping? Are they returning back? What are they doing right now?
Yeah, I think we all received the communique or the letter from CETAG this morning. So as it stands, I can say boldly that all of them are still at their campuses and waiting to hear either from maybe something good or something positive from either CETAG or the important stakeholders, or maybe also listening or waiting to hear from us as the association leaders. But to me, as we speak as an association, we are very, very, very disturbed. And we will say that if nothing positive happens this week, the best thing we could do, or the best thing that we will do, is that we advise our members to rather go back homes and wait until the whole issues or the strike is called off, and then they'll return and continue with their teaching and learning. And again, too, I also like to let you know that this time around, the association or we as the student leader, we are not ready to accept anything like halfway. Unlike what happened some years ago, whereby the strike prevailed for about 2 months, and after the strike, the teacher trainees were compelled to use 16 weeks to prepare for exams instead of the 14 weeks. So this time around, we are not ready for that. And if the strike prevails up to that time, we will not. And we'll make sure that the 14 weeks or the 12 weeks that they are supposed to take or they are supposed to go through, they will do that.
Naninja Divine is the president of CETAG. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. The pause returns after this break.